Okay, we're loading in kTkidd's replay. 5600 MMR carry. Let me pull up your ID. After our coaching session, I created a Word document and comment every single game I play as position 1. Cool. Very cool. Game conclusion was all about my lane. If I win the lane, I win the game. Same with losing. Okay. Feel very confident around 20 games about being opposite side of my team when farming mode, being able to fight but not having to fight. Awesome. Communicating with my team about how I want to play the lane and what is my timing helps so much that I try to do it every game, but it took a lot of energy. Yeah, for sure, man. Being cognizant of what you want from your teammates and communicating it definitely takes a lot of energy. Not because I can't communicate, but because I need to focus on how I feel about the game. Yeah, it's good to balance these things. Great. Well, sounds like you're doing just that. The problem I have now is all about how I can impact a game. Having good lane should not be the only reason to win a game. I should be able to recover from bad games. My idea of position 1 when you have a bird early game is to get creeps safely, but also rely a lot on teammates. If we all lose early, then position 1 doesn't have much to do. We will speak about it next session, but I want to know if you can share with me what do you think about my idea. I mean, your perception of losing, I don't want it to be very much different than your perception of winning. So when you're winning, you're trying to play as far up on the map as possible, given the exact game state and your power spikes. And when you're losing, you're trying to do the exact same thing. It's just not going to be as far up. So some carry players that I coach, they kind of just give up their impact in the game. And since they're losing, they're like, I don't need to have impact, or like, I can't have impact. So the most important thing in every game state that you're ever in is to maximize your game impact, whatever that may be. So say you're jungling very passively on like the top half of the map and a fight breaks out bottom, then like max impact you could have there is maybe like TPing mid and pushing the lane and trying to get the tier 1 tower, or maybe you're immediately beelining it to the creep wave top and trying to push that out, you know? But finding any sort of impact that we can have, I think is really important. My solution to bad early is to try to get a good hero for lane, so I try to get a last picker in second phase, play a meta hero with good survivability. Also, I ask my support to invest a lot in sentry, contest cans, and get salves. Okay, very cool. Let's check it out. It's great to like get better at your laning phase. That's a great thing to do. The most important thing we learn is that you can't win every lane. Even players like Yatoro don't win every lane, so you know, getting best at the laning stage as we possibly can, while also knowing we can't win every lane. I would say this item build to start. I'm curious what your thoughts are on why you did it. I do think it's a relatively greedy build. To go like straight into Vlad's like this with no stat items. You are against a duo that really has no way of like killing you, like in Phoenix, so you can sit at 250 HP, and maybe that's what you're thinking. I myself would have probably gone a Wraith Band against Lycan plus Phoenix. The armor's nice against Lycan, even though you're Morphling, and against the Phoenix, the attack speed's nice. Okay. So in these type of situations right here, what I will do is I will start clicking the Lycan right now, like before I'm in creep aggro range, or I will start hitting the wolf. I know he's going to contest the creep and that he's got summons. So when I'm against like Beastmaster or Lycan, if I know they're going to contest the creep and they're going to use their summons to do that, I try to hit the summons because trying to like heads up contest a creep, like where you're just doing this, where you're like trying to click it and he's trying to click it, it just doesn't work against summons heroes very well. So you can predict that ahead of time and start hitting the summon before the creep is low enough, and you either get the wolf or he backs the wolf off, and then you're maybe more likely to get the creep in return. Something I think I'm noticing with a lot of like 5k players, 6k maybe, is like we want to start planning ahead for situations in lane. Like you generally respond correctly to the situation in front of you, but we can start setting things up, which is partially to do with your communication, which is great. Like communicating is very important for that. You're doing this little thing correct as well. Dragging into the lane over here. This is great. Just good fundamentals here. Guessing under tower is mediocre, I'd say. That's small point. So it's interesting because you try to kill a wolf when the Lycan doesn't have anything to do. So notice earlier how he's preparing to go for that deny on the range creep, and I tell you to hit the wolf. If you try to hit the wolf when he doesn't have anything to do, you're going to lose. So I want you to think about if he's going to try to do something that I don't like denying a creep, then hitting his wolf is great. But if you're just going to hit his wolf when he's not preoccupied with anything, that's just a bad trade. That's kind of like how heroes like Lycan generally work. And maybe on Morph, you're like fine taking that bad trade because you just like heal back up anyway. Maybe you knew it was a bad trade and you thought it was fine. Or like bad trade, like numerically. Yeah, I mean, I haven't played Morph super recently, so I don't know. Like, I don't think this is the build to like rush Vlads like this. Like, I think people often go Treads. Or even just like a Wraith Band and a Wand or something. The build does seem kind of greedy, but it doesn't seem like inherently bad, just kind of greedy. I mean, if you can get to Vlad's without having lost the lane already, that's pretty good. You just straight rushed it. That is a very early Vlad's. Yeah, trying to lane up this far against Lycan just isn't a thing. We can. I would actually have wanted to open the big camp. In a lane like this, where I see it being played up this far, I would consider buying a sentry for. Oh, it's okay. It's there. Perfect. Okay, you're farming the big camp. Great. If it wasn't there, I'd actually open it up. Unfortunate courier. So what's really interesting about this position is right now, it may look weird, right? But like you pushed out this wave. Fantastic. I'm surprised. Not surprised. I want you to look bottom here. And see what's happening here. Because if this tower is 90% HP, and this PA TP's back in, and you go through the gate right now, he's like completely fucked. So like in this exact game state, it's not good for you to go bottom because the tower is like already dead. But I see this situation, and for me, this is completely worth checking because even though you're kind of a slow hero, it's very little travel distance from here to here. Like, it really doesn't take all that long. You've already pushed out the lane, so you should be able to TP back by the time Lycan is going to pressure your tower. So the fact that you don't check bottom here says something to me because this is a great... I see this as a great opportunity to go through the gate. PA's dead. Maybe we can secure a tower that way for free. I don't particularly like do anything to Lycan. Like, you don't love being here. You don't mind being here. But, like, yeah. So I would have probably left with the intention of returning when the opportunity was good. So yeah, your tower's gone anyway. You kind of have to do that. So my issue this entire time is I have no fucking clue what the other lanes are doing this whole time. So like, you're not really having to look at these creeps. Like, you can A-click the ground and then A-click over here and then just look at what's happening here. Is he pushing this in? Is this being pushed in? What's going on in the fights? I just see... I have absolutely no clue what the status of the other heroes in the game are. And when you're really busy and stuff, it makes sense, but you're not really doing anything. So, like, I would have considered TPing bottom there if nobody had, but somebody TP'd. You are looking mid a little bit there. That's good. You're going to back off. Oh, okay, I like taking Lycan Wolves. That's Cool idea. Yeah, I like what you did with the Lycan Wolves. It's very creative. I'd be looking mid just to see what fight this is. I wouldn't really be contesting this Lycan with like this. Oh, okay. Your team's actually smoking to this. Is great, actually. Sadly, you died to CM multi randomly. Your team was calling to come top. That makes sense. Your play. So, like, this is an example where you're right here and you see this. And we're talking about maximizing our carry impact. I need you to go this way. Like, I need you to go push this, look to TP mid and take the tower while all of this is going on. So, like, when you see this much shit happening on the map and you continue to go backwards, this is what I mean by, like, your lane is okay, but you're not maximizing your impact in the game. During the time that the team fight was happening, or the time that it's over, instead of, like, having pushed this lane and maybe even TPing here and pressuring this tower and then backing off, you're, like, jungling, right? So I've told carry players time and time again, it's all about consciously retreating and advancing. So what happens here is when the fight's over, you're advancing. I want you to see how this happens on the map. Fight's over. Everybody on the enemy team is missing now. Your team's dead. And now you're advancing on the map. We want to advance on the map when we see this fight happening. Because we know, like, right now, like, so before you saw PA, before you see this fight break out, like, right now, it makes sense that you're walking right. It makes sense based on your information. But the second you see this, I need you to walk left. Like, I need you to turn around with a sense of urgency to go back to this wave. If you didn't turn around right when you saw PA, I definitely need you to turn around right now. Like, however long it takes you to turn around from, like, right here is your MMR, basically. But this also plays a large part when you're, like, super early on in the lane at, like, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, and you're not looking at other lanes at all, right? It's the same thing as, like, you're not thinking about when this happens, I need to go left. You know, we talked about farming away from your teammates and farming towards your teammates consciously. Another element of that is when your teammates are fighting, look to advance on the map. When your teammates are not fighting, be careful. Because the opponent's going to be free to do whatever they want when that's the case. So both of these things are kind of the same subject. Just, you know, showing itself in a different way. So, like, I like this rotation because when your team is fighting, you're now advancing on the map. So I would look to TP mid here. Like, right now, I TP mid. I see this fight break out. I'm, like, looking at it. My team's there. I can actually turn this into a free tower, potentially. Maybe we dive more. Worst case, you, like, TP mid, and then you, like, come back here. That's what I would do here, because I see this. Like, see how this would play out? You TP mid here. Maybe you clear this wave if you want. But, like, I see this. I TP mid. I get momentum on this tower. Suddenly, Sniper's like, do I defend the tower? Or do I retreat to... Or do I help my team over here? You're kind of in, like, too much AFK farming mode. Like, you're not responding to fights. Like, however long it... Like, okay, if it wasn't obvious to do it here, I'm going to tell you, like, for me, it's obvious to do it here. I see, like, them kind of chasing my team back. I know there's a big fight. So I know there's an opportunity to, like, pressure this tower. For me, this is the obvious moment, but this is also, like, probably layer 5. And I'm not trying to say obvious in the sense of, like, you should know this. But for me, I know how this plays out because I've thought about this, right? I've thought about this a shit ton. So this is how it plays out, right? If it wasn't obvious before, it needs to be obvious now that you're supposed to TP mid. The same concept. You see 3, 4 enemy heroes chasing your teammates over here, and you see a tower that's exposed with lane. So these are the things where it's like earlier your team's fighting here or whatever, and you don't go from here to here rather than here to go push a wave. In this case, team is fighting over here, enemy team is chasing them away, free tower with wave, and instead of clearing wave, like at the very least you clear this wave, then TP mid. Like, high sense of urgency. This camp doesn't matter. So you do this. How long does it take you to go mid, right? So you're going to keep pushing top. So the idea about this is you're pushing a wave to effectively pressure a tower, but by the time you get to the tower, the fight's already over, and Lycan's respawning. But if you had TP'd here like 15 seconds ago, the fight's not over yet. Lycan's not respawned yet. You're creating like meaningful pressure. So I want you to see like the difference there. It's like what you did here is not bad. It's just not optimal. That's like how I would describe this. You basically missed a free chance to take mid tier 1 tower, and these are the type of things carries need to do when they're not participating in the game. You see this fight going on mid, I would walk left instead of right. I never walk towards my team when I'm strong and I want to fight with them, and they're on my side of the map. So this is something where I would have walked left earlier and then been ready to TP mid to connect to them, but I'm in 2 separate places at once. I'm ready to connect to them, so I think you connecting to them is good here. But rather than being at the fight by default, I would want you clearing this wave ready to TP. Very big difference. So the whole idea here is we don't walk to our team when they're on our side of the map. We walk either to our team. This is what I'm realizing. We walk to our team when they are on the opposite side of the map. So when we talked about that 5-minute mark, like, or whatever it was, 7 minutes, you go through the twin gate, show up to your team, and then TP back to your side of the map. When your team's over here, I need you to walk away from them and then TP to them if it's a good opportunity. So in both cases, we're giving ourselves a decision, right? By walking to the Legion Commander down here, we're giving ourselves an option to stay here or to stay down here or to TP back to our lane based on what happens. By walking to them here, it's like, what are you going to do? TP away from them? That feels like really bad, right? There's no other options here. See how this is no options? You're with your team. You're here. Now what? So I want you to think that it's not that I'm telling you this fight is bad. It's that you push this wave, give yourself a chance to come to this fight. You take the exact same fight after TPing to it. And then you walk back top the way that you did, because you notice you don't even want to TP away from your team. So there's no reason to not TP mid, right? So this is good. Took the fight. You want it. You're going to push out this lane. Yeah, definitely go kill that guy. That's great. Yeah, this game looks pretty... You said it kind of blows wide open once you get Manta. You want to force Roche with Vlad's. That makes sense. Now, how do we collapse the map? Yeah, good. I like this a lot. Like the Manta and to help your team. That's great. But what I do here is I don't walk back because I'm the most survivable hero on the map. I don't walk back and push this. I walk over here and cut this. So what I would have done there is I would have walked over here, cut this wave, and then walked back to mid and pushed this tower. That's what I would have done. So you're on like the right track. You're like walking over to clear a wave, but I think you could have done it more aggressively. And also it prevents your puck from having to go bottom because you've already cut the wave. So you're taking this fight with a puck also, which looks like you guys end up doing fine, but you would have had a puck here. Okay, so you literally see what happens by not cutting this wave. So like when we rewind, the reason why I think cutting this wave is the most value play is it's very aggressive on the map. And also it's the only wave that like we don't want to deal with. We want to play over here. We have 2 wards. We have this guy pushing this way, or that's your illusions. This wave can be pushed by anybody. It doesn't have to be you. So by cutting this wave, we can just say, hey, I'm cutting bottom, like play around top and mid. Like we can make that call. And then puck doesn't end up going bottom because that wave is like this wave is here, but the next one's going to be cut. So there's no second wave. But instead, puck, because that wave is over here and the next wave is coming as well. Look, puck shows up now, right? Because of this wave. And then we end up taking a fight without puck. And I think this is like a fucking wipe if we have puck. So kind of stuff adds up a lot. These are all like foreseen map movements. That one's a bit more advanced, I would say, but I'm still going to comment on it. Okay, we're sieging. And they don't really have a way to kill Morphling. Very nice. Ah, well played. BKB. Focus the egg. Good morph usage. Yeah, that was well played. That fight basically secured the game. So my major takeaway for you is that during our last game, we talked about farming towards your team and farming away from your team consciously. So I think what we need to add to that is when your team is fighting somewhere else and you've lost your tower, like you're playing back here kind of thing, or like this is what I mean. Remember how I said literally at the beginning of the replay that putting yourself out on the map as far as possible, like you didn't lose your lane here, but you were like playing back here, right? And I'm not saying that playing back here is incorrect. It's like just generally when your tower gets taken and they have pressure on your lane, like you're going to be back here. And so there's 90% of the time with nothing happening in the game, you're going to clear the wave here, you're going to farm this, then you're going to farm this, then you're going to farm this. But what makes you a better carry player is to do this pattern and in the middle of the pattern, see that there's a 4-on-4 happening here and turn around. That's basically what we need to tap into is you understanding that your default patterns, like as a 5600 carry player, are like they're solid, right? They're solid default patterns. But during your default patterns, we need to adjust to what our teammates are doing. And when there's a fight happening on the opposite side of the map, as long as there's no hero on the enemy that like solo kills you or something, which in this case there's definitely not, right? You know, if you were against like a Blade Mail Legion yourself and you don't see Legion bottom, you probably don't walk out there. But that's like an exception of a game, right? So, looking for these opportunities to put ourselves on the map, looking for these opportunities to like TP mid and take the tower when the fight's going on over here again. These are the things that are going to take your carry play to the next level, in my opinion. So we'll wrap it up there. I'll put it in your notes. Actually, I'll just do that now. Follow-up replay notes. Layering on top of farming towards and away from your teammates. First, walk to fights when they are on the opposite side of the map. TP to fights when they are on your side of the map. And then the follow-up point is trust your default farming patterns. But now when teammates are fighting / creating pressure of any kind, we need to look to advance on the map and increase our sense of urgency to pressure things. Even when we are not strong yet. So, I think that's your main notes. We'll wrap it up there. I've already sent you your notes, but they're, they're updated now with that.